Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts. It's UMass Boston women's basketball at 5-4 on the season, 1-1 in Little East play, taking on the Clark University Cougars at 7-2, 2-1 this season in the new MAC Conference. For the Beacons, they try to end 2016 on a 3-game win streak, and at 5-4, they look to pull 2 games over 500. We take a look at some of the pregame stats for today's game. UMass Boston has been playing some good ball as of late, scoring just about 72 points per game. Also allowing just a point under that, so they've played in some tight ones this season, shooting close to 38% on the year, and they're staying pretty tight with teams on the rebounding front. As for Clark, they're averaging just about the same, 71 points per game, allowing teams to score just 55 points. That margin is impressive. 16 points against margin, and they've out-rebounded teams by 7 this year. Let's look at the starting lineups. We'll start with UMass Boston. They'll go to Tajay Burston, as well as Ariana Rivera and Katie Mathieu in the backcourt. Raven Kelsey and Katrina Edwards round out the front court. And for the Cougars of Clark, they have a lineup looking like this: 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. Sam O'Gara, Aretha Sullivan, Haley Wilder, Toriana St. Pierre, and Ogechi Ezema here today. We'll step aside for the national anthem and then return for the tip between the Cougars and Beacons on the Beacons Broadcast Network. We should have starting lineups on both sides momentarily. Once again, thanks for joining us the day before New Year's Eve at the Clark Athletic Center for women's basketball. UMass Boston looking for a 3-game win streak heading into 2017 at 5-4, 1-1 in Little East play. As for Clark, 7-2, 2-1 in the new MAC Conference. We looked at some of those statistics. They are outscoring teams by 16, out-rebounding teams by 7, so they bring in a balanced group under their head coach. It's Pat Glispin, 33rd season at the helm. 4 assistant coaches alongside, and then John Reinzveski is the director of basketball operations. Players to look out for: Sam O'Gara in the backcourt this season, just about 16 points per game. So that's been impressive for Clark this year. Ogechi Ezema, just over 9 rebounds per game. O'Gara also with 5 assists per contest, so look out for her punch out on the floor in the guard position. As for the Beacons, we just heard the announcements of some of the starters. Tajay Burston is one to look out for, as well as Katie Mathieu. Both the senior and junior respectively have had excellent seasons, but of course in the front court it's been all about Raven Kelsey, averaging a double-double this season through 9 games, 14 points per and 10 rebounds per contest. So both teams look ready after the national anthem. Both huddle on their sides. Clark, as you can see, wearing the black uniforms with the red numbering and lettering along the chest, the white trim on the shorts. Many showing their variety of Nike kicks for this one. Clark will work right to left to start out today's contest. Christina Bond, her second season as the UMass Boston head coach, assisted by Antonia Macklin and Andrea Safrendia. So to do the tip for the Beacons, we'll see Kelsey stand next to Katrina Edwards. Ariana Rivera also standing behind with Mathieu and Burston. 10 minutes on the clock, first quarter. And we're underway. The Cougars control. Beacons trying to win their third straight. Quick turnover. This is Kelsey in transition. And she hands off to Tajay Burston, leading the team in assists. She pulls up, and he got it. Burston averaging close to 5 assists per game, showing the senior touch. Out of Springfield, Massachusetts, it's 2-0 Beacons. 30 seconds in, first quarter. Clark sets things up. They run that big man in the 5-hole spot. Little time to shoot. The little floater good from Aretha Sullivan. Clark University located in Worcester. Sullivan from Worcester, Mass. O'Gara also from Worcester. The lone 2 Worcester natives on the roster. Mathieu bounces it, an outlet by Rivera. This is Kelsey at the line. Bounces it underneath. Nice passing by the Beacons. Up and under from Edwards, no good. And Clark runs away with it 1 minute plus into the first quarter. Kelsey nearly had the steal. Mathieu up top defensively. O'Gara and Sullivan play catch. There's O'Gara to the cup. Again, the team's leading scorer, 16 points a game. Her and Sullivan both from Worcester, Mass. Clark University established back in the 1880s. About 3,400 students on campus. Kelsey searching with 7 to shoot. Burston triggers. In and out. And it's knocked out of bounds by UMass Boston, so Clark takes over. 2 minutes gone by, first quarter, 4-2. The Cougars in front of the Beacons. Told you, Clark has won 7 of their 9 games this year. Next up for the Cougars, they take on Springfield College in the new MAC. That's a home game at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Turned over by the Cougars, so the Beacons have it back with 7:48 on the first quarter clock. Full court pressure shown by the Cougars. Burston helping out Mathieu. They break the line. But a Beacons turnover. Burston snatches it back, keeps it in bounds. There's a foul on the far side of the floor. Nowhere close to where the basketball was. So Coach Baugh clears things up with the official. They wanted to change the possession arrow. So the shot clock gets reset to 28 seconds. Burston sets up shop. Mathieu. That's a 3. That's Rivera, pardon me, off the left wing. Mathieu with a nice work downstairs on the baseline. 5-4 Beacons lead. Another loose ball picked up by Clark. This is O'Hara. O'Gara kicks it back out. This is Sullivan. Burston pushing for the Beacons. Slices and dices to the cup, and she's fouled. Burston with a trip to the charity stripe. 6:51 left in the first. That's the first team foul on Clark, first on any side today. Burston's been solid at the line this year. Raven Kelsey at 79%, the best on the team. That free throw clean. 1 for 2 trip. Beacons up 2, 6-4. O'Gara and Sullivan play catch on the wing. Clark in the black unis, red numbers with that white trim on the top of the jerseys and on the shorts. Dump pass to the baseline, a late whistle. It's a tough call against Katrina Edwards, the senior from Springfield, Mass. Wilder at the line. St. Pierre, junior from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Played at Berwick Academy prior to her time in Worcester with Clark. Mathieu off the miss. Lob pass ahead to Rivera. Burston slows things up. Kelsey dumps it. Rivera chooses to retrieve. Nice move that time. Great athleticism shown by Katrina Edwards. Just lost the handle on the delivery. Sling up top. O'Gara, the head fake. Pull up, rejected. Edwards and Rivera off to the races. And then a great hustle play by O'Gara up the other end. Those are the types of plays you normally see out of a role player or someone that comes off the bench, doesn't see a lot of time. But she is the team's leading scorer, also the team's leading assist man. Kelsey rises in and out. Nice putback. Mathieu collects 2. And the Beacons up 3 with 5:47 to go in the first quarter. Underneath, easy right-handed scoop. Ogechi Azema from Rhode Island, Hope Valley, Rhode Island, attended the Moses Brown School. Back to a 1-point game. Burston right in the breadbasket for Mathieu, way too strong. Clark the other way. This is O'Gara, coast to coast, gets 2. And she gives Clark the lead, 9-8. O'Gara looks like she still might be nursing from that tumble she took on the fast break. She's atop the zone for Clark. Burston examines the look defensively. Rivera the head fake into the teeth of the defense. And a whistle just inside the paint. This one to go against Corey Willett. Timeout on the floor, 4:57 to go in the first quarter. The Beacons down 1 to the Clark University Cougars. And you're watching on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center. 4:57 to go in the first quarter. UMass Boston looking for a 3-game win streak going into 2017. Raven Kelsey looking for Mathieu. That pass gets bumped off the shoe. Stolen by Burston. And the layup too strong. Just under 5 minutes left. O'Gara strong to the paint. Tried to shovel one inside for Azema, but she got fouled, so she'll head to the free throw line. 9-8 the score. We've traded baskets early on. Clark at 7-2 this year. They've had an excellent season. Azema clean on the first one. Well, the Cougars have won 7 of their first 9 games, but on top of it, they've impressed, outscoring teams by an average of 16 points a game, and they've also controlled the glass, out-rebounding teams by about 7. Some full-court pressure from the Cougars. They break it. Rivera lost the handle. O'Gara on the break. Tough shot. Cleaned up by Azema. Got her own miss. And that mess gets picked up. 13-8 Clark on top of UMass Boston. Beacons at 5-4 so far in 2016. The calendar flips to 2017 on Monday. That's Mathieu from 3. 4:02 left in the first. Beacons head to Brandeis University on Tuesday, January 3rd. It's a 6 o'clock game. I already told you that Clark takes on Springfield College for an 11 a.m. early start on Wednesday, January 4th. Mathieu just picked up her first foul and the third on the Beacons. And Emma off the screen hits Sullivan. Runner to the paint. Off the right side. Collected by Azema, and they reset. O'Gara is on the bench for Clark, their best player. Azema feeds it. Nice, easy scoop shot. That one's good. Nice look by Sammy Dokas of Littleton, Massachusetts. Grad student playing the forward spot. 3:22 to go in the first. Burston wants to clear things out, set up the offense. 12 to shoot. Kelsey in the corner. Nice strong attempt inside for the rebound by Raven Kelsey. Illibode is checked in. Malden, Mass center at 6 feet. Looking to control the post. Inside 3 minutes left of the first quarter, and Clark leads by 7. Clark still sweeping it, stolen away by Burston. Eyes on the prize, crashes the lane. Ripped away by Kelsey, but a jump ball. It stays with the Beacons. Changes for Clark as Gwyneth Ivory, senior center from Ashland, Massachusetts, checks in. And for the Beacons, it's Alicia Quinones who checks in, freshman forward from Staunton, Mass. Bursting outlets to Kelsey. Fresh shot clock for UMass Boston. Clark 7-2 this year. Beacons 5-4, trying to win their third straight. Heading into the new year. Kelsey swings it back to Burston. 10 to shoot for the Beacons. Burston shaking and baking. Kelsey pulls up. Too strong. Ricochets out of bounds, and the Beacons catch a break with 2:01 left in the first, a fresh 30. Changes on the Clark side. Corey Ouellette to the bench, as well as Sammy Dokas. Beacons turn to Katrina Edwards off the bench. Raven Kelsey, her first rest today. Beacons limited with Grace Geary out due to injury, and Chanel Jordan also not playing due to injury. Floater in the lane. Rivera short. Trying to recollect her own miss. But that one snatched by Ivory, fresh off the bench for Clark. Nice stomp and dribble by Wilder, but no pun intended, the shot too wild, and back come the Beacons on the right side. 90 seconds left of the first quarter. Down by 7, they've been on a scoring drought. Tough shot inside, Illibode gets hacked, and she'll get to the free throw line. Sullivan, the foul. That's the third on Clark. Beacons also have 3 in the first half. A couple of low dribbles. That first one is short from Illibode. Played at Malden High School, just a sophomore at center. Tallest player on the roster for the Beacons. One thing Christina Baugh, I should say, has been preaching, trying to get some of her bench players some more minutes as they head into the conference play and play some more conference games. Beacons have already played 2 at 1-1 in Little East play. Illibode knocks in the second, and the Beacons dwindle the lead down to 6 for Clark. Still over a minute left. That's a travel by Wilder on the jab step. Beacons retake the basketball. Burston getting harassed by O'Gara. That should be a fun matchup today. The 2 point guards. Nice passing. This is Rivera. Edwards, pardon me. Edwards with the kind, friendly roll. Beacons down 4 on a mini 3-0 run. Minute left in the first quarter. Here's Wilder dribbling from pressure. Traveled with it. Some careless turnovers on both sides early on here. Casey Lagare of Chicopee, Massachusetts, sophomore at 5'7", checks in for the Cougars. Beacons can try for a 2-for-1 if they have time. Illibode dumps it back. It's outletted to Mathieu. Burston is open. Got them all. Tajay Burston hit a free throw line jumper to start the game. That's her first 3 of the contest. And a whistle along the baseline. Well, one thing we've also hit on with Chantel Jordan not playing today, she is the team's best 3-point shooter at 48%. So they'll turn to Kelsey in the post, and also Burston and Mathieu, Rivera. All of those perimeter players have to step up today and shoot the basketball well. It's team foul number 5 on the Beacons, so Quinones punished, and O'Gara is at the free throw line. Excellent scorer this season. 68% free throw shooter. That leads the team. 30 seconds left. It's a 2-point game. Remains that way. Nice board. The putback too strong by Clark. And they can hold for the last shot. St. Pierre to the corner for Lagare. 10 on the game clock. O'Gara down the right lane. Not enough. The putback, though. There's a whistle against the Beacons. Great awareness by Azema. Ogechi Azema, the sophomore center, will get to the line for 2 with 4.6 seconds left in the first. Of course, the new rules in women's college basketball, 5 team fouls means not just penalty, but double bonus. That means 2 free throws for the team on any given foul, whether it's on the floor or a shooting foul, of course. That one good. Clark up 3 with 4.6 seconds, and the Beacons turn it over. A careless mistake. Quinones stepped on the line. So Clark has a chance with 3.5 seconds to go in the first to tack on a couple of more points. Rivera into the game. Illibode checks out. Coach Baugh shouting from that sideline. Wants a defensive stop to close out. O'Gara, 2 seconds. Floater just off the inside of the iron. Rebound down to the Beacons. And Quinones with the end of one. Clark 17, Beacons 14. You've been watching this broadcast on the Beacons Broadcast Network. We'll return for the second quarter in just a bit. Second quarter is underway at the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Thanks for joining us on the Beacons Broadcast Network. This is the final women's basketball game of 2016. Lots of memories for this women's program going back to last year. Beacons on the break, 3-on-1. This is Rivera to slow things up. Back out to Rivera to Burston. They swing it around. Nice look by Mathieu. Tough shot inside. Edwards fouled. Well, for the Beacons, of course, big memory from last year in Christina Baugh's first season. The emergence, really the steady emergence, I should say, of Olivia Murphy, the senior, up on that board to the left. 1,000-point scorer, 1,000 rebounds. Just an excellent foundational player for this women's basketball program. She really took the Little East Conference by storm, and that was a huge message. And that was a big storyline of last year's team going back to early February, as well as the beginning stages of March. The Beacons didn't go all that far in the Little East tournament. But no question, Murphy left her presence here, and that's helped players like Raven Kelsey, Tajay Burston to really set up what they can do for this program. Katie Mathieu, as well as some others there on the floor. Ariana Rivera, Katrina Edwards, plenty of players from last year's team. Off the deflection, the Cougars of Clark to keep it. Just about a minute into the second quarter. Clark to inbound under the basket. Inbounds pass nearly stolen. Tough shot. A whistle. This one's going against the Beacons. Lagare, the sophomore, going up on the right block. Got hacked on the shoulder, so Rivera tagged with the foul. That's personal number 1 on the Beacons in quarter number 2. So as we flip the calendar to 2017, Beacons at 5-4. Under the second-year head coach, Christina Baugh, they've won a game in the conference. They've lost a game in the conference. It's pretty much conference play the rest of the way after this one. Again, they're back in action on Tuesday. Runner in the lane by Burston, way off the mark, and here comes O'Gara. Feisty player. She's 5'5", but does a lot for this team, scores the ball, and finds her teammates. They play pitch and catch on the perimeter, 13 to shoot for the Cougars. 8 to shoot. Good pressure on O'Gara. She's looking for the shot. 3 seconds, fires, and a travel. before she let that one go. Great defensive pressure by Tajay Burston. Burston 5'1". O'Gara listed, that is, has 4 inches on her. I think that's a little of an overstatement, but that's what it's listed as. Rivera for 3, no good. Kelsey in the right spot, tried to dangle a bounce pass inside, but it bopped off her own teammate. O'Gara pushing for Clark. Here's a jumper in the corner. Friendly bounce for Lagare. Clark leads by 6, 20-14, 7:43 to go in the half. Beacons had some good looks from 3 in that first half, in that first quarter. Mathieu, small pull-up, true. Mathieu's got 5. She's already made a 3 today. Beacons down by 4. Clark again, 7-2 to start the season. 2-1 in conference play, UMass action. Tough shot. That's a denial that time of Azema. That's another juicy matchup today. The development of Azema inside for Clark, and then, of course, Raven Kelsey. We know how good O'Gara is. We know how good Kelsey is statistically, but the underrated side of those matchups might be Burston at the point guard spot, defending O'Gara. That's Sullivan down the left side. And then on top of it, you have Azema, who does not get a ton of attention, at least from a grand scheme of things, because of how good O'Gara is at scoring the ball. Mathieu puts it on the deck, skips it to Burston. Bounce pass for Edwards. Got snatched away for a moment. Burston tees it up. Got it to go! Burston, another triple, and UMass Boston down by 3 to the Clark University Cougars. That lob pass is too strong, and the Beacons have it back. All right, on cue, Burston showing her touch. With the injured Chantel Jordan not playing, you need someone else to step up, make the 3 balls you need to stay in the game against a pretty good team. Burston, the senior, at 5'1", executing. The kick out to Kelsey, kept in bounds. It's back to Burston, 15 on the shot clock. This is Mathieu, 8 to shoot, it's Burston. She controls again. Mathieu the up fake, 3 to shoot, tried to bank it off glass, but it's no good. Sullivan in transition for the Cougars. Beacons at 5-4, looking for a 3-game win streak going into 2017. Sullivan backing down, tough shot. Burston held her on the wrist. That shot was made a lot more difficult due to the hold on the wrist of Sullivan. .539 left in the first half. Christina Bosch shouting from the sideline, just getting all of her signals across for the Beacons. That one's good. So Clark extends its lead to 5. Mathieu breaks the press. Kelsey, 2-on-1, bounces it inside. Illibode, good for 2. Great execution by the Beacons. Just going to point out with Coach Baugh, we hit on Olivia Murphy's importance to this program's success, and she meant a lot last year to this team. That little jumper in the lane, no good. Kelsey rips it down for the Beacons. But can the role players from last year emerge and steady the ship? Nice up and under move by Mathieu, and the Beacons down by 1. The lead was 1-7 just a few minutes ago. 5 minutes left in the first half. Seems like Kelsey is up for the task, leading the team in points and rebounds per game, averaging a double-double on the season. Murphy scored a lot more points per game last year, but the rebounding numbers in double figures for Kelsey is a big number. Sullivan trying to squeeze and tightrope down the baseline, but she ran out of room. Media timeout, 4:37 to go in the first half. Clark is up just one. The Beacons have rallied. You're watching it on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Second quarter resumes. Tajay Burston controls for the Beacons, down by one. Went on a mini 5-0 run. They just forced a turnover. It's Mathieu, Burston, Kelsey, Illibode, and Edwards on the floor for UMass Boston. That lob pass to Edwards got trickled out of bounds, so the basketball to Clark. As we told you before, the Clark University Cougars, they take on Springfield College on Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. That's a home game, probably a field trip game for some youngsters in Worcester. How about that? You have a chance to go to a basketball game as opposed to a field trip to the Science Museum. That's a scoop shot, good on the baseline by Wilder. Beacons, meanwhile, they return to action on Tuesday night at Brandeis University. That's a 6 o'clock start. Mathieu in the corner, Beacons down three. That pass gets broken up, recontrolled by Illibode. Kelsey, strong up fake. Edwards, easy, no good. Great up fake by Kelsey to draw the defense in. Edwards just couldn't finish. 3:20 left, first half at the Clark Athletic Center in Boston. Wilder plays off the screen. 10 to shoot. Clark still looking to get into its offense here. And Nema, nifty shot move. 5-point lead for the Cougars, and there's 3 minutes left in the first half. Burston, got it. Couple of threes, a couple of jump shots for Burston today. She's got 10 points in the first half. O'Gara, the point guard for Clark, is on the bench. Wilder has controlled the basketball a ton. She's number 24, pulls up. Got it to go. That's a three for Wilder. And Clark back up by 6, a 5-0 run of their own. Beacons cut it down to 1, 24-23. Burston surveys the look. Mathieu skips it to Kelsey. Nice dump to Illibode. Burston again. Short. Mathieu the board, and she got fouled by Sullivan. Sullivan sort of shoved the shoulder down as Mathieu crashed in for the rebound. That's number 3, by the way, on Sullivan. We have not seen much of her in this game for that very reason, foul trouble. She got a high five from head coach Pat Lispin, 33rd year head coach. Under 2 minutes to go. First half in Boston. The lob pass from Mathieu, a miscommunication with Rivera. And Coach Christina Ball wants to take a timeout with 1:47 to go. Don't forget the Beacons women's team. As we told you, they have a road game at Brandeis on Tuesday the 4th, or Tuesday the 3rd, I should say. They return home for a pair of games. Later in the week, they play Thursday night against Bridgewater State at 5 p.m. And then on Saturday afternoon, January 7th, they play Rhode Island College. That is a 1 p.m. tip. Here at the Clark Athletic Center, we'll have men's hockey coverage also on the 6th against St. Anselm on Friday. We'll have a look around Beaconville at the half. Hockey in progress right now for the championship game of their tournament. Corner 3, no good. That one coming in the corner by Willette, and there's a whistle underneath. This one is going the Beacons' way, favoring the Beacons. Burston and Mathieu bounce it back and forth. Rivera's got it back to Kelsey. 90 seconds left of the first half. Edwards getting trapped inside. And there's a foul call, not a jump ball. That's Anema's first, but number 4 on the Cougars. Inside look, ripped down on the boards. Here comes Clark on the left side. Tough shot, stuffed by Edwards. Here comes Burston, breaking out on the right end. Minute left. Mathieu, that's Rivera, pardon me. Mathieu got the rebound. Her outlet gets ricocheted, and it's ripped in by O'Gara. Penetrating down the lane, O'Gara fouled on the floor prior to the drive to the basket. That's just number 3 on the Beacons as a team. So it's an inbound under the basket for Clark University with 50.6 seconds to go. There's the 3 in the corner, too strong. Kelsey bounces it down and cradles the basketball, has it off to Burston. Down the left side, Burston for 2. She's got 12 first half points. Outstanding start for Burston. 30 seconds left in the first half, and the Beacons down by 4. O'Gara, stop and start. Down the right side. Just had a way to squeeze it in. Back up to 6. And the Beacons can hold for the final shot of the first half. I think you might want to keep it in number 3's hands. Burston's been solid for UMass Boston. Edwards, tough shot, fouled by Anema. Was a shooting foul, even though the team limit is here. This is Edwards at the line with 1.2 seconds left. Rattles the first one. Illabo checks in for Kelsey. Beacons down 5, can make it a 4-point game with a make from Edwards. That one good. Burston heads to the bench. High five from Coach Baugh. Kiana Prince is checked in for the Beacons. On O'Gara, the shot coming. Short, from behind the half-court line. At the end of the first half, 20 minutes in the books. Clark University at 7-2 leads UMass Boston at 5-4, 33-29. We'll step aside and start our halftime coverage after this on the Beacons Broadcast Network. We're at the half inside Clark Athletic Center. Beacons down by 4 to Clark University, 33-29. Beacons with a strong first half from Tajay Burston. She scored 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. She had 3 steals as well for the Beacons. 10 points for Ogechi Azema inside on 3 of 5 shooting, also 7 rebounds today. Raven Kelsey has yet to score for UMass Boston, but she has 5 rebounds so far tonight. We take a look at the team stats on both sides. Rebounding edge has gone to Clark. We said it before the game. They've out-rebounded their opponents by 7 per, and look at, they're just living up to their average right now, 20-13 so far. Clark with 3 more turnovers. Beacons shooting slightly less than the Cougars today, and they've taken 12 threes. Burston has made 2 of those trifectas. We take a look around Beaconville. We just heard some tough news for the men's ice hockey team, number 12 in the country, downed by Salve Reigns. Final score 3-2, just across from us in the 52nd annual Codfish Bowl title game. Also in action, women's hockey for the 10th annual Codfish Bowl on the women's end, starting Monday at 1 p.m. Men's basketball is off to Regis on Tuesday. As we told you before, the women's basketball team is in action Tuesday as well. They travel to Brandeis University. And then finally, we take a look around the LEC. Looking ahead, I should say. Women's team, as we just told you, Tuesday night, January 3rd at Brandeis U, 6 o'clock start. And then the Beacons at home for 2 straight. Next Thursday night against Bridgewater State at 5 o'clock. And then Rhode Island College comes in for a 1 p.m. tip on Saturday, January 7th. We'll step aside one more time. We'll return for the start of the third quarter. Beacons down by 4 to Clark University, 33-29. You'll catch the rest of it on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And welcome back to the Clark Athletics Center. Halftime coverage is over. Thanks for watching the Beacons Broadcast Network. UMass Boston women's basketball trying for a third straight win heading into 2017. Tuesday night at Brandeis to continue Little East play, but they've got to deal with Clark first, down by 4. Nice take by Rivera in the teeth of the defense. Beacons down 2. There's Sullivan on the right wing, number 10 for Clark. She is playing with foul trouble right now. 3 personals. She's in the starting backcourt with O'Gara. Here's Anema, fed in the post. Trickled it off the rim. And Kelsey ripped down her 6th rebound. She's yet to score today, which is rare. You'd think she'd be in it. Rivera. Nice board by Mathieu. An outlet to Burston. And the Beacons have a fresh 30. Kelsey short from distance. The Beacons have now taken 14 threes, and they've made just 3 of them. Kelsey today has been a big surprise because she's got no points, 6 rebounds, and a quick leash by Coach Baugh as Quinones checks in for Kelsey. She's now heading to the bench. Kelsey averages 14 points a game, 10 rebounds, and she's yet to score a bucket. Sullivan off her own miss. Got it again. 3rd time's a charm. And the Beacons down 4 with just over 8.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Burston had a game-high 13 points in the first half. She made a couple of 3-pointers as well. Mathieu lost the dribble. Burston gets it back, 12 to shoot. Quinones strong. Easy scoop for 2. Beacons using everybody off the bench today to help out and score the ball, especially with Kelsey struggling. Rivera 2-on-1. Tried to find Burston. Shot right off the fingertips out of bounds. And the ball back to Clark. Beacons at 5-4 overall. Clark at 7-2. Sullivan getting matched up with Mathieu. O'Gara, the team's leading scorer, had 7 points in the first half. And there's 2 and a foul for Anema inside. Clark up by 2, 35-33, and Anema tries to cap off the 3-point play. That's Edwards' 3rd foul. That's a big one. Kelsey on the bench just struggling. And on top of it, Edwards has 3 fouls. Here's Burston slashing the lane. Bounce pass to Edwards. Wrapped it around for Burston. Tried to toss it up. No good. Clark is up by 5. O'Gara, nice lob pass, right side. Anema trickles it home. Clark back up to its largest lead, 7 points. Illibode is waiting to check in for the Beacons. Well, we told you at the break, they're a very good rebounding team. They out-rebounded the Beacons 20-13 in that first half. Mathieu, a 15-footer is true. Good look by Burston. That bounce pass has been lethal today. And on top of it, Clark outscores its opponents on average by 16 a game. So they've done the rebounding part today. Wilder for 3. That one's too strong. Sullivan races for the board, trying to muscle it away from Rivera. St. Pierre checks in for Clark. And Illibode back in. Illibode had 3 points in the first half. Here's O'Gara running the show for Clark. And Emma posting up, gets it. Double team comes. Missed the shot. Rebound try by St. Pierre, no. O'Gara works it, and Emma pulls up. Friendly bounce. Clark back up to its largest lead, 7. Burston trying to orchestrate things, get everybody in the right spot. Rivera, too strong. O'Gara looking to push. Banks it off glass, good. Clark up by 9. Do the Beacons have an answer here for Clark's run? Screen set, Burston, short. O'Gara is on the break. Coast to coast, stuffed though by Mathieu. Dives to the floor with Enema. And they're wrapped up in the corner that time. Changes for Clark, a pair of substitutions. Raven Kelsey, after a quick breather, checks in. And Quinones retreats to the pine. Katrina Edwards was going to check in, but she stays on the bench. Beacons look. Burston, Rivera, Mathieu, Kelsey, and Illabode. Kelsey has yet to score in this game, averages 14 per contest. And there's a jump ball on the baseline. Beacons to keep possession. 19 on the shot clock. This is only the third time Clark and UMass Boston have played each other head-to-head. And it's the first time in 30 years these two teams face off. In the corner, Burston. Shot clock is fresh for the Beacons. Mathieu hits Illabode. Nifty spin. Too much mustard. Beacons and Cougars played back in 1983 in the month of December. So if our math is right, that is 24 years. 34 years. Beacons won the first meeting, which was also played on December 30th, 30 years ago, 70-68. That game was played on a neutral site at Salem State University. Timeout on the floor. Beacons down by 9, 4:52 left in the third. We'll step aside on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Play resumes with 4:50 left in the third quarter. This is O'Gara strong through the paint. Missed it. And it's deflected out of bounds. Will stay with the Cougars of Clark. We talked about it a second ago. This is the third time these two teams go head-to-head. Beacons, of course, more specifically looking for a season-high third straight win. They had back-to-back impressive wins in early December. Coach Baugh's team beat Keene State College and also beat Westfield State. Tough shot inside. Kelsey ripped it away, but a foul called underneath. This one is going against Clark. St. Pierre punished for the foul. That is the first on Clark with 4:30 left in the third. Mathieu's pass to Rivera got swarmed due to the contact that time by Rachel Chen, sophomore from Needham, Massachusetts. So with the Beacons draw up, down by 9, largest lead of the game for Clark. Illibode, nice give and go with Kelsey. Retreats, it's Burston. Short, but it works as a pass as Rivera dumps it home. 7-point game. 3 ball. Strong. Rivera heaves it down. Burston runs the floor with her. Rivera gets fouled on the right wrist. She's heading to the free throw line. Well, it's funny, we talk about those 2 wins for UMass Boston in December. Raven Kelsey, a big reason why, averaging 24 points a game, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. She's played a ton of minutes. She played 76 of those 90 minutes against Keene State and Westfield State. But tonight, she has not scored a single basket. The Beacons are still down just 7. This one good. It's down to 6. A pair of makes by Rivera with 4 minutes left in the third. Outlet to the corner, turned over. Clark had a ton of turnovers in the first half. They had 11. They've piled up at least 3 or 4 in this third quarter. O'Gara defending Burston. Beacons break the line. Rivera gets bumped. Laguerre with the extra pressure that time. So Beacons have it in the half-court set with 22 on the shot clock. This is a 3 from Mathieu. Short, Rivera, tip pass. Kelsey, or pardon, that's Illibode, who gets thrown to the ground. She'll have 2 at the line. It's great awareness by Katrina Edwards, or not Katrina Edwards, I should say. It was Katrina. That was Rivera, excuse me. Ariana Rivera with the jump pass inside for Illibode. It's down to 5. Clark 7-2 this year. 33-year head coach Pat Lispin has had a great year once again with these Cougars. It's a timeout on the floor. 3:33 to go. Timeout taken by Coach. 44-39. Beacons down 5. We'll have the next free throw coming up on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Michaela Illibode trying to complete this free throw trip to make it a 4-point game again for the Beacons. Short. Mathieu the rebound. And the Beacons have a fresh 30 with 3.5 minutes left in the third. Illibode got it back. Double teamed. Illibode's lefty jump hook. No good. Kelsey had it stripped and she bounced it out of bounds. So it's Clark ball. Kelsey just not having her way today. She's rebounding the basketball, but nothing really, no favorable bounces just going her way today. O'Gara kicks it to the corner. 3-ball, good. That is a big shot by St. Pierre. 8-point game. Dominique St. Pierre from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Kelsey got it back. Dumped back to Kelsey. Illibode going to work. Up and under. It rattles in. 6-point game, 2:37 to go in the third. Sullivan feeds Enema, and that's a response. It's back to 8 with 2:26 to go in the third. 5 on the floor for the Beacons. It's Kelsey, Illibode, Rivera controlling the basketball, Mathieu, and Burston. Mathieu tried to bounce it, but it's knocked off the foot. Looks like Katrina Edwards is going to check in. Illibode to the bench. 14 on the shot clock. Burston with a dribble drive. Edwards reverts to Burston. 7 to shoot. Kelsey, short again. It has not been Raven Kelsey's day. She's doing everything she can. O'Gara's pull up, short. Back out to Enema. In and out. Edwards had it ripped away. St. Pierre with the extra effort. Whistle favoring the Cougars. .140 left in the third. Wilder checks in. This is a 4-across setup for Clark. Give and go to Sullivan. Had it stripped by Burston. Burston thought about lobbing it. Instead lobs it off the backboard herself. And she missed it off the right of the iron. Kelsey the steal. Breaks away with Mathieu. Back to Kelsey. That's her first bucket today. Much needed assist. Mathieu with the find. It's a 6-point game. Wilder looking to Sullivan in the post. St. Pierre and Enema also join. O'Gara in and out on the scoop shot. Fouled from behind. St. Pierre hit Edwards. That's already number 5. Well, of course, here in the third quarter, so that means free throws for Edwards. 6-point contest. Beacons can get it down to 4. Well, UMass Boston trailed by 9. That was the largest lead of the game for Clark. Edwards misses off the left side. Senior from Springfield, Massachusetts. Played her high school ball at Springfield Central. Lead is down to 5 for the Cougars. O'Gara runs the show. Wide open look. There's a foul underneath. Not sure who's it against. It is the Beacons. Rivera got hit with it after some extra pressure on Sullivan. That's number 4 on UMass Boston. 1 away from the penalty, and there's number 5. It's Rivera again, bumping Sullivan. That's her 4th personally today, so that's a red flag for Christina Baugh, the second-year head coach. Question is now what she will do. 47 seconds left in the third. Sullivan off the mark. this Clark team, we knew coming in would be a tough one. They had 3 straight losing seasons, including a 6-win season last year. Off the catch, Edwards, too strong. Rivera, back up. Responds after the 2 ticky-tack fouls. The shot clock is still on. Here's a 3. St. Pierre, no. Shot clock off, 20 seconds to go in the third. Rivera riding the hot hand. Too much lift on that shot. 10 seconds left in the third. O'Gara crashing the lane. Easy scoop, good to go. 3 seconds. Burston rushing ahead. Burston! Off the left. And that's how the third quarter ends. Beacons down by 6. 52-46 to the Clark University Cougars. We'll step aside and return for the fourth and final frame of this women's basketball contest you're watching on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Fourth quarter is underway at the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts. We have a quick stoppage 5 seconds into the fourth. UMass Boston down by 6. Tajay Burston running the point. Mathieu and Rivera also join her in the backcourt. Raven Kelsey and Katrina Edwards. O'Gara, the point guard for Clark, facing up on Burston. Nice cut to the hole. Mathieu fouled. And Emma gets hit with the personal foul. That's number 3 on the starting center for Clark. Beacons trying to take advantage here with 13 seconds gone by in the fourth. The lead is 4 for the Cougars. O'Gara dishes it to Sullivan. Had it knocked away, recollects. Straight up defense by Rivera. Give and go. Lefty layup, no good. Kelsey had the rebound. And there's a foul off the ball on the far sideline. That's Anema's 4th foul. Azema, the center from Hope Valley, Rhode Island, has to head to the bench. That's a big miss right now for Clark, at least on the front line. Burston gives and goes with Mathieu. Edwards to Rivera. That's a long 2, short. Kelsey knew it went off of the Clark players, so the Beacons keep possession. Burst into inbound. Rivera on the bench. Illabode is checked in. Mathieu a 3. Big one! Beacons down by 1. UMass Boston led 2-0 on a Tajay Burston jump shot inside the top of the arc. That's how this game started. They have not led since. Sullivan and O'Gara run the show up top. Clark is 7-2. The Beacons beat Keene State. They beat Westfield State so far this month, looking for a season-high third straight win. Edwards, the rejection. Burston has been solid today at the point guard spot, really keeping things in control. Has not let her teammates show any complacency today. Edwards going to work. Backing down, turned it over. O'Gara off to the races. Heaves it up top. Sullivan down on the deck, and that's turned over. Ferocious pass from O'Gara. Looking for the open target, but the bullet overshot. 1 point game, 52-51, 8:19 left. Last game of 2016 on either side. Beacons trying to stay above 500 with the win. They go to 6-4. Nice take. Edwards got the roll, and the Beacons have their first lead since the opening minute of the game, 53-52. O'Gara down the left lane. Got stuffed by Mathieu, but there's a foul against her. Well, that's O'Gara's specialty. She knows how to get to the free throw line. Mathieu just her second. Katie Mathieu in the first half, she had 6 points. First one short. Beacon still up by 1 with 7:49 to go in the game. Rivera checks in. Edwards heads to the bench. And for Clark, it's Toriana St. Pierre who checks in. Haley Wilder to the bench. Pardon me, Wilder's still out there. It was Monsalve who head to the bench. Lob pass to Illibode. Cutting Raven Kelsey. Outlet to Burston. Kelsey got it back. Burston a reset. 7.5 to go in the game. Beacons and Cougars tied 53 apiece. Illibode shoves the shoulder. Too much lift. Wilder sprints ahead. Hands it off to the point guard, O'Gara. Heavy bounce pass. Nifty shot, no good. Mathieu corrals the rebound. Here comes Burston. Eyes on the target. Burston, floater, short. Ball comes loose. Here comes Willette. Free ball, O'Gara, no good. Burston got the loose ball. Down the left side, hit by O'Gara. She can't believe it. Burston has a chance to give the Beacons the lead again. Second one good. In the corner. Willette, too much lift. Here comes Burston, 1-on-3. Does the smart thing, decides to roll it out. Mathieu open. Rivera tips the rebound. New shot clock. 6:15 to go in the game. Beacons trying to knock off the 7-2 Clark Cougars. Rivera lets it go. Short. Edwards down to the deck. And it's just called out of bounds. Raven Kelsey, after a quick rest, checks in. Illabode back to the bench. So the 5 on the floor for the Beacons: Rivera, Burston, Mathieu, Kelsey, and Edwards. Willette cutting down the lane, no pass. Got bopped away, controlled by St. Pierre. Strong take down the left side by Lagare. Clark University up by 1 on UMass Boston. It's felt like back and forth we go. In the first half, it was a lot of acceleration, high speed. Now it's a chess game in the second half. Kelsey stepped on the line, but we've seen a lot more control in the half court on either side. So this game could come down to maybe 5 possessions if each team takes up the full shot clock. Willette a 3, no good. Kelsey had the initial tip. Burston got it. Up ahead to Mathieu. Pulls up inside the arc. True. Mathieu had a little hesitation and then knocked down a big shot. The head coach Christina Baugh calls timeout. That means a timeout on the floor as well. 4:58 to go in the game. Beacons up 1, 56-55 on Clark University. You're watching this basketball game on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Fourth quarter resumes inside 5 minutes to go, and the Beacons up by 1 on Clark University. This Clark team has had losing seasons the last 3 years. They won just 6 games last year, but they've had a lot of success over the seasons. This is a tough test. They're 7-2 this year. Nice contest by the Beacons defense. Kelsey, the loose ball. She slows things down, 4.5 left, and Burston sets up the offense slowly and patiently. Off the right side, Mathieu to give the Beacons a 3-point cushion. Over 4 minutes left, St. Pierre dumps it. Off the contact, easy lay-in, good. That's Rachel Chen off the bench, the sophomore from Needham. Inside 4 to play, and the Beacons up 1. Burston puts everybody in the right spot. Edwards and Kelsey manning up the front line. Edwards, hard dribble, right side, layup good. Up ahead for Lillette. Chen, up and under. 60-59 Beacons. Burston sets it up. We're coming up on 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Kelsey. She got fouled. The foul against St. Pierre. Keep an eye on that, team foul number 4 on Clark. The Beacons with just 1, so the Cougars are just 1 team foul away from the bonus. The rest of the way, there are 3 minutes left. Beacons got to be careful too. If they have to foul down the stretch, if they get down for some reason, they have to play catch up. Sullivan on the bad pass. Stop and start. She got fouled. That's number 2 on UMass Boston. Beacons with a win would clinch a season-high 3rd straight win. They'd go into 2017 with a 6-4 record. They'd also resume their Little East schedule. They'll do that regardless of the result today. But they'll head to Brandeis University at 6-4 on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock game, if they indeed win today. Sullivan ties it. O'Gara, Sullivan, Azema. Also on the floor, St. Pierre. And Wilder. That's on the Clark side. 2.5 minutes left. Burston runs the play. A couple of down screens. Edwards backing down. Tries to shovel inside. That one well short. Wilder hands it off to O'Gara. Up ahead for St. Pierre. Had it swiped away by the Beacons. Edwards, the defensive stand. Mathieu, no. Fans wanted the foul. O'Gara spins it back out with less than 2 minutes to play. Sullivan to Wilder. Fouled by Mathieu inside. That's a big foul, and that's number 3 on UMass Boston. Minute 52 to go. Wilder at the free throw line to potentially put Clark University in front. Beacons are 2 fouls away from the penalty. Clark is just 1 away. Kelsey and Edwards box out. Clark with the lead. 61-60. A quiet Christina Baugh on the sideline, just using her fingers to point out the play. Kelsey. Burston swings it. Mathieu hits Burston. 8 on the shot clock. And a bounce pass inside. O'Gara fouls Edwards. So that means free throws for Katrina Edwards. With 1:27 left, the Beacons can take the lead with a pair of makes. Again, UMass Boston has just 1 foul to give. Then they hit the double bonus. 1 for 2 trip. Here comes Azema. O'Gara over the half-court stripe. Minute 20 left. Sullivan for the lead. Got it! Sullivan, game-breaking 3, 64-61 Clark. She's gone through a bunch of foul trouble tonight, and then she makes probably the biggest shot of the game. Unless the Beacons can come back. Rivera, well short. O'Gara, blocking foul called against Burston. Comes up limping after the play. 56 seconds to go. The Beacons down by 3. And that's the 4th foul on Burston. So here are a couple of again, like we said a second ago, that was the foul to give for the Beacons. So the shot clock and game clock, about a 25-second differential. That's a carry called against O'Gara. A rare carrying call against O'Gara gives the Beacons possession with 50 seconds left. Well, UMass Boston just caught a break. They don't have to go for three necessarily, but they've shot a ton of three balls tonight. Kelsey, the head fake. Burst into Mathieu. Outlet to Kelsey. Now it's Rivera. Tie game! Patience, a virtue. The Beacons execute. And Rivera ties it up 64-64. An incredible shot by Rivera. Most importantly, Mathieu drove the baseline, kicked it out to an open Kelsey, and then she made the extra pass to hit Rivera in the corner. She had missed a three earlier, a prior possession ago, and then still did not hesitate to take that shot. 30.8 seconds left, and we're tied at 64. Told you before, the Beacons trying for a third straight win going into 2017. That would be a season high in wins in a row, and then on top of it, they would be 6-4. They'd be 2 games over 500 as opposed to 5-5, going into what is going to be a heavy conference schedule, because that's what it will be. It will just be all conference games going forward, except they'll play Brandeis University, they'll play Bridgewater State, and then the rest of the way is Little East Conference games. So you want to make sure you pad that non-conference schedule before you get the conference schedule in the Little East going. We'll see what Clark just drew up in the huddle. O'Gara, we told you about her a lot tonight. She is their best scorer. But she's had a disruptive night because she's been in foul trouble. Sullivan, number 10, you can see her on the far side in the corner. She made a go-ahead three earlier in this previous minute. Rivera just tied the game. Shot clock has been turned off for Clark. Sullivan, strong take. Timeout, Christina Baugh and the Beacons. Sullivan just squeezed through that maze of traffic and knocked in a tough shot off the window. UMass Boston, really, it's that middle ground of not wanting to foul, but also put enough pressure on Sullivan to miss, and she really has not had a great game. She made that three in the corner a second ago, but there's a reason why she's in that starting backcourt. She does have the intangibles to get to the basket. Just a little too aggressive on the defensive end. That's what's forced her to go on the bench. And in those situations, she comes up big in the big spot. Burston to inbound. Pardon me, no, it's Rivera to inbound on the far sideline. Beacons have 15.8 seconds left, down by 2. They look like they're going to hold for the final shot. Kelsey downstairs, shoves the shoulder, and off the miss, Azema fouled. Mathieu just picked up her 4th foul. That is number 5 on the Beacons as a team, and Azema can put this one away with a pair of makes. There's 3 seconds left. Let's see what she's made of. Beacons 5 on the floor. Kelsey, Edwards, Mathieu, Burston, and Rivera. Rivera standing at half court. Second one good. No timeouts for UMass Boston. Mathieu heaves it ahead. Ball comes loose. Rolls out of bounds, and Clark University celebrates. They improve to 8-2 and beat the Beacons in the third all-time meeting between the two schools. A big shot, a big 5-point effort in the final minute by Aretha Sullivan, senior guard from Worcester, Mass., the home of Clark University. We'll step aside for a quick moment, and then we'll get our post-game coverage started. The Beacons women's basketball team falls 67-64 to the Clark University Cougars. You watched all the action on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Back at the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts, the Beacons women's basketball team goes down in a tough one, falls 67-64 to Clark University. The Cougars improved to 8-2 on the season, a big 5-point swing by their two-guard tonight. It was the play of Aretha Sullivan, who finished the game with 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting. Her only three-point make was in that final minute that gave them a lead. It was the play of Ariana Rivera for the Beacons, who scored 13 points tonight. She came back and hit a three of her own to tie the game, and then Sullivan hit a tough shot in the lane to give them the lead. High point scorers today, Azema for Clark scored 20 points, had 13 rebounds. Sullivan, 15 points, 7 rebounds. O'Gara, the point guard, 12 points, 4 rebounds. On the Beacons side, Raven Kelsey, the surprise, 1 of 7 shooting, just 2 points and 12 rebounds. Double figure scores tonight. 4 other starters all scored in double figures. Katrina Edwards, 10 points, 3 of 9 shooting. Burston had 14 points, just 1 point in the second half. That's a big number. Katie Mathieu had 17 points on 7 of 13 shooting, just 1 of 5 from 3. And Ariana Rivera, 13 points on 5 of 14 shooting. The Beacons outscored in the paint by 10, had 8 more points off turnovers, and they were outscored 11-10 in second chance points. They had only 8 bench points today. So we'll take a look at the final stats. Also on the team side, the Beacons overall shot 37%. Clark shot 40%. And the rebounding number was something we'd look out for. They out-rebounded the Beacons by 12, 46-34 in this contest. Again, 67-64 the final score. We'll take one more look around Beaconville. We told you before about what's coming up for the Beacons. We'll start with the women's team. They're playing Tuesday night at Brandeis University. Then they take on Bridgewater State at home. That's at Thursday night, 5 p.m. Those are the final 2 non-conference games of the season. And then they welcome the Rhode Island College program, 1 p.m. start next Saturday, January 7th. And we'll finally thank our crew for tonight's coverage of this Beacons broadcast. On the production side, thank you to Lauren and Rachel up here, and also thanks to Seth Orinsky for his production work as well. For everybody here with the Beacons, my name is Brendan Glasheen, signing off at the Clark Athletic Center. Women's basketball falls 67-64. Again, they return to action on Tuesday night at Brandeis. That's a 6 p.m. game. Then they play on Thursday night against Bridgewater State here at home. Thank you so much for watching the Beacons Broadcast Network. Good night from Boston.